am on another of many, and recently I've come on quite a few of these showers that have failed. And I often get called after the fact when somebody has done a tile job, whether it be 5 years ago, 12 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, where eventually the thing fails. And more often than not, it is operator malfunction. Let me give you, this is a nice looking shower. For all intents and purposes, had they done the job right, this should have lasted a lifetime. But it didn't. Actually, this has been rebuilt twice. The first time, the bench had failed. And I think that was 8 years ago, where the bench had failed. And now they're having all of this. This is solid wood. And look how it's buckling up. I know you can't see it properly, but it's buckling up and it's stained, obviously. And there's a moisture meter that the homeowner has used to find out that there's 100% saturation on this area. 100% I'm not feeling, but when you put the moisture meter on there, it's 100%, and then it kind of goes down a little bit by the time you get up to the sheetrock. But you can clearly see the sheetrock is stained. It has penetrated through the paint a little bit. And that's the telltale sign that something went wrong. So there's another YouTuber that takes great pride in going on jobs that he put together that failed. I have yet to be able to experience something like that because when I take showers apart, I find out the failure. And that's generally the only way that I'm going to be able to do that. I wish there was a way that I had like Superman and I could just see right through things, but I can't. So anytime I go on a potential job like this, the homeowner always wants to know what the failure is, and there's absolutely no way. I have to kill the patient to find the disease, and that's unfortunate. But when I take things apart, when I take this apart, I'll find out what the failure is. Sometimes it's elementary, sometimes it's something that somebody just had a brain fart, they had no business building a shower, and it's one or two situations that could have been, that didn't have to happen. Sometimes it's things that, for example, with waterproofing the shower curb. I know they didn't do this. I was privy to the pictures, and I know they didn't waterproof anything. When I'm doing tear-outs is when I find the mistakes, and by virtue of other people's mistakes is how I put things back together to mitigate those issues if they never happen to me. Because of a lot of it's common sense. I know there's a lot of book soldiers out there and engineer hats who read directions on things, and I think you're kind of doomed to failure over and over and over again if you don't allow common sense to dictate how you do things. There's a lot of things that were done right here. Oftentimes I don't see the curb that sloped. This one is. I don't see the knee wall sloped. This one is. And I don't see the bench sloped, and this one is. But when they did the rebuild 8 years ago, it was the bench failure, or so they said it was a bench failure. And so they rebuilt the bench, and they went one tile up on these other two walls and took out the curb material and put everything back together. However, the picture that I was shown by the homeowner shows a product called, I think it's a USG, I believe it's USG, called Fiber Rock, which is a misnomer because it's neither really, to me, fiber or rock. And I wish they didn't sell the product because it's kind of crap, really. I don't have a problem. If you follow my channel at all, you know that I don't care what the backer board is, but Fiber Rock in particular, I just don't have any use for. But if I were to use it, I'm going to make sure that I RedGuard, Hydroban, you know, like something on here to where there's waterproofing going on here. From this point down, all of this matters a lot. Because I saw the pictures, I know they used Fiber Rock, I know they used it on here, I know they didn't wrap their liner all the way up around there, which is not really necessary if you're going to waterproof. You're going to do a topical waterproofing, or if you even use the Curdy sheets, you're not going to have those issues, but they didn't use any of that. They also have a tumble marble, which I have in my shower, but they only came in one time, I think, is what the homeowner said, and they only sealed it one time, and that's not good enough. I have tumble marble just like this, and I want to see water bead like a duck's back, and I'm not seeing that here. The water's penetrating into the grout, it's penetrating into the tile, it's saturating this whole pan. Is that the cause of the leak over there? No. But they thought it was, so they came in here with a bunch of silicone on the bottom here, and siliconed up here and silicone at the front of the bench. You can clearly see all the silicone going on to try and take care of those issues, and it's not taking care of those issues. Unlike my shower, I don't have grout cracking. Where the planes meet, I don't have any of that cracking going on. Could that be the issue? It could contribute. There is some grout that's missing over here, obviously. They didn't do their miter cuts properly, or perhaps didn't do a miter cut, and you can clearly see there's a hole right there. Is that the sole issue because the shower head is opposite? This shower head doesn't have a lot of pressure on it. Yeah, I don't think so. That it could contribute, yes. There were some issues over here with some cracked tile, and I don't know that doesn't contribute. There's a little disadhering of the grout over here that could contribute, but the leak is on this wall. Could it travel up under the pan liner? This is a concrete slab below here, and go over there? It's doubtful. I saw that the drain was done relatively okay. The tile is set okay. You know, there's a lot of things that I look for. This guy was just an okay tiler, because I'm looking at the floor and there's a lot of lippage going on the floor, so I know he's not a great tiler. Oh, something funny too. Look at that grout build up in the corner. Why not just get other little piece of triangular tile and stick it in there rather than fill it in? A lot of cracking, a lot of grout missing, a lot of things weren't done right, and I don't have a history to tell you, but he was just an okay tiler. Huge, ginormous, look at my thumb. That's probably good 5/8 of an inch grout line going across here, which is crazy. So all these things combined, look at that. All these things combined, that's crazy. Tell me that he was not a great tiler. When they're not a great tiler, they're not a great shower builder. Everything from here on down matters. And since everything was taken out of here twice already, and the homeowner, the poor homeowner, is getting ready to do it a third time, I don't know. Sometimes in these videos, I know I critique a lot, but these videos are specifically that other people are aware of what's going on. I'm going to try and show a picture of the prior process that the homeowner was able to take. And you're going to see the fiber rock on the walls. I don't think it was HardieBacker. You're going to see where there's no waterproofing. There's no RedGuard remnants up above the second row. There's no Hydroban or Aqua Defense or anything going on. So, and nothing on the floor. Plus, they put the wallboard, had a gap, and then filled in the gap with their pan material. So the two are meeting. Could that be the problem on the other side? Could be. I don't know. It's normally the curb. I'm not seeing a whole lot of issues with the curb. I don't like the lines. I like that they double bull-nosed, but you know, the practicality is what matters, not how things look. End result is, I can't give this guy a definitive reason why he has 100% moisture reading over there. I cannot do that. It's a possibility that they nailed below the pan liner and that water is seeping through there. That's a possibility, or screwed, as it were. There's a possibility they didn't set the drain right, that the flange, the configuration of the locking flange wasn't correct, or that they cut too big of a circle and didn't caulk under that. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. But the end result is 99.999% of the time, there's a few exceptions where I know definitively, because the customer took a picture during the build process, that the drain was the Achilles heel. And so let's just cut that area out, replace the drain, and make it like it never even happened. I've been able to do that on a few rare occasions. I had a curb that I built in place because we knew the curb was leaking, and I didn't have to take out all the material. More often than not, the curb fails first. The second thing that fails is a knee wall, and they have both here. The third thing that fails is a bench. So they have all three of these things going on, all three. The curb could have failed, the knee wall could have failed, or the bench could have failed again, and incrementally, and all three of them could be, you know, the cause of the problem. Unfortunately, I don't usually have all three in one shower, what we do here. But the end result is, don't learn by mistakes that are made. Please don't learn by mistakes that are made. Learn from my videos. Learn other people's mistakes. That's how I learn this business. to find out how things fall apart so that I don't ever do something like that, I don't do something like that. I mean, how silly would it be for me to go into a shower that I built 8 years ago or 10 years ago and look and say, hey, look where I failed. You know, I didn't properly do this or I didn't properly do that, when common sense would dictate that you do these things. Common sense. Wallboard not touching, you know, not being embedded. Use the proper waterproofing, you know, wrap your curb and then waterproof it also. Have a little redundancy going on. Make sure you build your knee wall with a pitch and make sure. There's a lot of common sense methods to make sure things don't fail. This is the third time this guy has had to build this shower in a 12-year period, or at least this bottom part of the shower. And, you know, it's a nice shower, very expensive. This, you know, the glass alone, hello. This is a 7-foot panel of glass. But that's all I have to say about this. My heart goes out to the guy because it's frustrating as a homeowner to have things go bad. Imagine taking your car in, you know, in a 12-year period to have, you know, kind of the same thing fixed over and over and over again. It just seemed like, you know, tile guys out there are inept, and, you know, that's a shame. This is the point where everything was taken out. You can see clearly the concrete slab. The drain is setting up above, which really isn't good. And then on the next one, you're seeing that the bench is now being taken care of. And over here you have grain board on the left side over here. But you still have this, and I'm calling it for the purposes that I don't really know for sure, but I'm calling this, there it is, on the walls there, because I'm not seeing anything that has HardieBacker label on, which HardieBacker is always showing. So I think it's, and then look at this gap here. The gap is at best 2 or 3 inches, and that's going to be the level of your shower pan material, so I know those two things are combined. There's no tape. Not that I'm a huge believer on tape on the seams, but there's definitely no waterproofing either. And the waterproofing, if it were a topical membrane, would have taken the place of the tape because it's a crack preventer as well. There's definitely no tape and definitely no waterproofing. So it's a bit of a mystery, but some of that mystery is solved just by virtue of looking at these pictures. They're sliding the tile up under there to hold the wall tile up. Ostensibly, these are little shims, but where's the floor tile? They haven't even set that yet. And so that concerns me too, because that means that they literally are putting a gap there specifically for the tile, which is porous, and so is the wallboard, and so is this tile for that matter. And they're using the wrong thin set. Now that I look at it, it's gray. They should have been using white thin set. The only reason that matters is because there's possible bleed through into the grout. With a lighter grout, you should have used a white thin set. And there's the final product. And then this is a little concerning too. This one here, although it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things, looks like they used some mortar up here to give the slope to the bench. And they had an opportunity to put that big slab in first before they overlapped the wall tile, but they didn't. They put the wall tile and then the slab on top of that. So, you know, it is what it is. Hey, if you enjoyed that video and you learned something, consider being a Patreon member. $5, $10, $15 a month would help me greatly produce more videos. I make nothing from YouTube at all. If you're going to call me for advice, please donate $50 for 30 minutes. My link to my PayPal and my Patreon account is down below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get immediate notifications as soon as I post a video. And thank you very much for your support.